Travis, and where you at, Tammy? Where did Tammy go to? There she is. Okay, tonight we've got a pretty good show lined up for you. We're going to be talking to From the Aether. They're a group. They kick butt on their songs and stuff. We've got a CD to give away. And then we're going to go into Judge DuPont and his violation of people's constitutional rights. So we got From the Aether. How you guys doing? This is Tim and Helen.
We're doing great. Hi.
So where are you guys out of?
Well, I'm from Germany originally, and I came to New York a few years ago, and now we are in Mount Shasta.
Oh, man.
Born and raised in New Jersey.
In New Jersey? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we got your album here that we're going to be giving away tonight. From the Aether. I got a lot of reflection off my screen. There you go. I think you guys can see it. We'll tilt it which way. All right. Yeah, you guys, we've been playing your stuff for what? A little over a month now. Mm-hmm. And you guys have got some, I think it was one of our listeners called in. And then they sent an email saying that we need to check you guys out, that you were pretty good, and we did. Got in touch with you, and the rest is pretty much history. You guys have got a lot of requests on your music. So tell me a little bit about you guys.
Well, I was raised in Germany with a father who's a conductor, and my mom is an opera singer. So I studied musical theater, which I love incredibly, and my whole influence comes from musical theater, basically. Gene Kelly, Judy Garland, all the oldies from the 50s, 60s. You know, I grew up with watching movies like that, and with 13, I started to write my own songs. And when I met Tim, my dream came true.
How long have you guys been together?
Well, we've known each other for 3 years, and we really got together about a year ago.
Okay.
As the band and as the couple too.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Are you guys writing your own music, or?
Yes, we write our own music.
All our stuff is original, and I come up with something on guitar, and Helen just comes up with words, and that's how we named our band when we were thinking of a name, because our lyrics and our words, they just seem to come from the ether.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that means basically it's coming from a different dimension or a different energy, and he plays a riff and I pick up something, and that's how our music starts. And then we record it, and then we make new words and make it to a real song.
I checked out some of you guys' videos and stuff online, and
yeah.
You guys is that your recording studio that you have?
No, we went to recording studio where we made the CD also, and the guy who recorded the CD, he also did the video from We Are One. If that is what you're talking about.
Yeah, our friend Gabriel Francis, we went to do an open mic night at the Panther Pub. And he was throwing an open mic night, and he offered to do our CD for us for a good price. So we decided to record at Backroom Studios in Rockaway. That's where we recorded our CD that you have in your hand right now.
Okay. The song My Soul Wants to Sing. Tell me about that one. That's the one you have the video on, correct?
Yeah, My Soul Wants to Sing. No, We Are One is the video.
Or We Are One, I'm sorry.
Yes, and My Soul Wants to Sing was our very first song that we wrote. That was on our first date in June 2015.
Okay.
So that's he brought his guitar, and he just played, and I came up with words, and then we made it to a beautiful duet.
Okay. Walk me through the video that you guys made where you're in the forest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's called We Are One.
Yeah, walk me through that one.
Well,
what was the inspiration for that one? Because I see the whole woods thing. You guys can check that out on YouTube as well. Just type in From the Aether and it'll pull up. or was that one on YouTube? I know I saw it on your page.
Yeah.
Yeah, We Are One's on YouTube. That's at one of our favorite parks in New Jersey. We like to go walking, hiking a lot.
And we love to combine nature with music. So the video basically represents us very well. And what we believe in, what we like to do. You know, we love to travel and to hike, and that music represents that very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the funny part is, I remember that Tim started writing that song in the bathroom.
I finished it in the bathroom.
He finished it. He just came up with beautiful words from the first part that he sings, the first verse. He just completed that within like 10 minutes when he came out of the bathroom, and I was like,
I got it.
I was like, wow.
Yeah, we started that the same way as we do most of our songs. I just played something on guitar, and Helen was she's singing something about "We Are One." You know, we just kind of went with it.
And then we just wanted to find deeper words for it. And I basically think it's a beautiful wedding song. Like, it's a song that you could easily use for a wedding if you wanted to have something special. Because being one, the lyrics are, you know, out of the black into the gray, and then it goes into the white, being pureness and innocence. And it represents what you would believe in. You know, the vows get better and better the more you meet, the more you know each other.
Yeah, I saw some of your pictures and stuff where you're in singing in it looks like a big California redwood that's hollowed out in the stump.
Mm-hmm.
Where was that, a California redwood, or? That
was at the near the Trail of 1,000 Giants in Sequoia National Forest.
Okay.
Yeah, we took a walk there, and there's a couple different trees you can go inside of, and I was like, "Hey, Helen, sing something." And
You just recorded that.
it.
Yeah.
On my phone.
We've been traveling for half a year now. We live in a travel trailer.
Oh, cool.
Huh?
I said, cool.
Yeah, we've been traveling since December, and all the way from New Jersey over here, getting inspiration from nature, meeting people, and all that goes into our music.
How many states are you guys going to try to cover, or you just go wherever you?
Well, we want to go to Oregon in a few days, in like 10 days, and then we want to come back. We really fell in love with Mount Shasta, where we are right now.
We really like it here.
So we want to be here for another month. We're here for another 10 days. Then we want to see Oregon and try out Ashland in Oregon, because I heard that there's a lot of music going on over there. So we'll bring our music out and look around, because we've never been to Oregon. And then we want to come back and get more music done and, travel more. And then go back down south when it gets colder.
Yeah,
we want to stay in California, and California kind of feels like home to us.
So you guys are out living the dream. You're doing what most people want to do but never do.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Yeah, you were talking about writing songs in the shower. Some of my best articles have been written when I'm in the shower. Somebody needs to come up with a shower board for singers and writers, so when you're in there, you can jot it down, because as soon as I step out and dry off and get to my computer, it's like, what was I writing about?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I know you got a question, Tammy. Uh-oh, we lost Tammy's audio.
Tammy's audio is gone.
She's been doing that to me since I'm in middle school. I'll say something and she'll
go to commercial.
Luckily she's all the way across the state right now, so she can't slap me.
I can't really take you off the screen right now, Tammy. Just the way everything's set up. I can put it on.
That's okay. We'll talk some more.
We still have
Thanks
a bunch
for
of
having
different
us.
ones.
Great.
Yeah, we're really, really excited that we're able to be in the radio with you and have our first interview.
This is your
That
first
means a
interview?
lot. Yes.
Oh, cool. So you're not going to be virgins anymore to the radio. Oops. Okay. While we're waiting on Tammy.
Real quick, Tammy, could you do that gain thing you do every once in a while to fix it?
No, go ahead and kill her thing
Heard
until
before.
Yeah.
until camera gets in.
So I'm trying to tell you, that's the only other one with Discord up that I have. Maybe I can do that. There we go.
Okay.
Okay, hi there.
So you guys are into nature and everything, and that's where you get a lot of your inspiration for your music and stuff.
You hear that?
Yes.
Well, where do you guys see yourself in 5 years?
On big
I
stages.
finally got.
We definitely want to empower and inspire people.
I don't know
with
what
our music.
happened.
You're there, Tammy.
Discord is picking up. This
Am I?
Yeah, you're there.
Yes.
We can see Cameron's
Yeah.
nipple.
Okay.
We can see his arm.
Her
We can
son-
see his
Okay.
arm.
Her son is like, what, 6'5",
Yes.
6'6". When he walks on the screen, all you can see is his chest area. So I always tell him, I can see your nipples. That's the only thing you can see.
I lost everything. I lost here. I couldn't hear you. I guess you guys could not hear me. So I just picked everything back up about a minute and a half ago. So I didn't hear anything you asked them. I have no idea what you've been talking about. I'm so sorry.
That's okay.
It was about you, but don't worry about it.
Oh, okay.
I was asking if you had any questions for him. I asked him where they.
Well, I don't know what to ask because I don't know what you've asked.
Well, go ahead, shoot.
Ourselves and how we come up with our music and what we've been doing, basically.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I was gonna ask you guys both, basically where you were both from and how did you meet?
Well, we met in Brooklyn in a church. I lived in a church for 3 years, which was very interesting, and I sang every Sunday in that church and had a performance with musical theater. And Tim knew someone that I knew, and he brought him along, and the rest is history. We met. 3 months later, we had a date, and we wrote our first song. And then 2 years later, we got together, and now we're traveling, fulfilling our dream.
Well, that's really cool. I did hear you say that you were going to be going to Oregon and then back to where you are now very shortly, and that you liked Mount Shasta. Is that what you said? I think that's what you said.
Indeed.
Okay. I did hear that much. But I guess you guys couldn't hear me at the time, so that's really cool, though.
So
That's really cool.
let me ask you guys: is there any artist that's been like your idol or somebody that's inspired you to do what you're doing? Who you guys get your inspiration from, as far as like Jason Mraz or whoever it is?
There's so many, and we can't really name one, because I used to be in metal bands. I grew up on that, like Iron Maiden, Metallica, all the classic rock. Helen's more into musical theater, like she said before.
Yeah, and that makes our
Jeez,
music so
Ireland.
diverse, because one of the new songs that we put up on your radio, Life is Magical, completely goes into the direction of more heavy metal, and it's more like a talking scene, which is more like musical theater too, because it has the inspiration there. That is a great the way we wrote that song was I had a vision about a witch being murdered by the state, and Tim took that idea and he wrote a song within 24 hours, and we hardly changed anything from it. We just shortened it a little bit because Tim had a lot to say to that.
Well, 24 hours. Most artists, it takes them months and years to write one song.
Yeah.
Well, instead of making a total melody out of the verses and everything, we decided, I thought it would be cool to just speak it and tell it like a story.
Yeah, because we believe in storytelling with our song. I think that is something that people miss out on a lot nowadays.
Yeah, like the old country and old folk.
Yeah, I've noticed.
Bringing back-
A lot of the folk music is coming back, where you know, where it used to be. I mean, but then again, you know, they spent all these years getting technology up, and now Facebook and them are coming up with those GIFs where it's all silent movies. So,
Yeah.
but I have noticed a lot of the folk stuff that's coming back, and it seems to be, you guys seem to be getting in on that while it's just starting out again.
Yeah. Well, my inspiration has always been Judy Garland.
I was just going to ask you about that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I actually did a one-woman show in Germany about her, and her life has been very inspirational to me. So she and Gene Kelly and Frank Sinatra are my favorites from the golden times of MGM Studios.
Yeah.
And
Good influences.
Yeah, we listen to more, I suppose, like older music than the nowadays stuff.
Actually yesterday I made Tim watch Hello Dolly with me with Barbara Streisand. And
That's a good one.
It's a great one, and we enjoyed it a lot. Seeing the costumes and, you know, the people walking around in beautiful color. It has depth in it. The story was a nice storyline, you know.
Definitely. Yeah.
So,
They don't make them like that anymore.
So,
no, but I have the feeling that we may be bringing that back. Like, people will have a renaissance of that kind of style, because a lot of movies and all that are kind of superficial nowadays. You know, it's all about shooting, about, you know, brutality, no more storyline. Yeah, superheroes.
So,
Yeah.
what's your reason for going to Oregon? Is there a music festival, or is that something you guys are going around and following some of the different festivals, or?
Well, that's definitely a plan to. We want to see if we can be part of that for the future. We don't have any dates for that yet, but
We're gonna go do some recon, go scope it out.
yeah.
We've met so many nice people, even on like hiking trails or just our neighbors in the campsites, that they always say, "Oh, we should go to Ashland, Oregon." I like it.
They have cafes with live music, and that's something that we definitely want to be part of.
Yeah, are you guys going to be going out to Colorado at all?
We haven't really thought about that one yet.
Yeah, I would like to.
Definitely, as long as it's nice and warm, we definitely want to go to those, you know, more colder places in December and all that. So, like, you know, as long as it's summer, we'll
Florida.
travel higher, and then we'll go down south again.
Come to Florida. It still gets too cold over here for me. I mean, we had what? We had 30. Oh, Tammy's shaking her head. No, she's an air conditioned baby. Me, as soon as it gets,
I like cold.
when it gets past 78, I'm in a jacket. I'm still in flip flops until it hits about 74, and then from there on out, I'm bundled up.
It's 73 here right now.
I don't even.
That's perfect.
It's
Yeah, right?
86.
It's way too hot here right now.
It's 86
When we're
outside the
out
studio
in
here.
December, when we're going through North Carolina and even Florida, it was really cold. It was down to like 20 degrees at night. A couple nights in our trailer.
We were lucky that we had a heater, you know, that
Yeah.
warmed us a bit. But it gets really cold from below.
Yeah.
On your way out from New Jersey and stuff out to where you're at now, where did you guys stop along the way and play at different places, or?
No, not really. We've just kind of been playing it by ear right now and just absorbing, getting inspiration.
Yeah, we've been writing many more songs that, of course, couldn't be on the CD at that point yet, you know, because we just started out about a year ago.
Yeah.
So we have about, 15 more songs now that we will soon hopefully get on a new CD.
If you could play anywhere you wanted to play, where would it be?
That's a good question. How about the moon?
The moon and Mars.
I don't know what kind of an audience you would have there, but okay.
We'll have a
No.
Yeah, you never know. Yeah.
performance, you know. Earth
Yeah.
is wild, too.
There you go.
Yeah, they're
That's
already.
good. That's good.
NASA's already got the mission to Mars booked up, don't they? 100 people in
Yeah,
2029
something
or
like
something.
that.
That's
You
crazy.
never know. It might come soon.
Yeah.
I'm too old to make that trip.
Yeah, I don't think so. Not me.
A couple more years, I'm gonna have a bag,
If
and
we have-
it
If we have
depends.
reception up there on Mars, then we can do like a live video thing for Earth too. So
Wouldn't that be cool?
not everyone
Yeah.
will have to travel up there.
Live streaming, that'd be perfect.
That's too far from the sun for me. So, yeah, but what she was just asking, if you had a chance to play any venue around, what would your favorite venue be? Carnegie Hall, Nashville.
That all sounds great. Carnegie Hall would be amazing. The question is if we would fit in with our music. But what I do see is festivals, like some spiritual festivals that are around here in California. I think that would definitely be something that we would enjoy being part of. Because our music is also very inspirational. And it's not, I don't mean Christian or so. I mean just like very empowering, so it can fit into different venues that like beach festivals, and we heard about a few other ones a few days ago that we want to be part of, so we'll do some more research on that.
Yeah, they have a lot of festivals like that in Florida here. Besides the Native American festivals, they have a lot of the beach, the drum circles and stuff like that. You guys really are to come to Florida and check out and see some of the venues they have here.
Yeah, we'd love to.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, they have everything from crazy people to crazy people. I fit in perfect. But now,
So we consider ourselves crazy too,
and where can they purchase your CD at?
On our website, www.fromtheaether, spelled just like that, .com.
AETHER. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And then we also have our Facebook page, From the Aether, that people can look up to and check us out.
Yeah, if you guys,
From the Aether band. Yeah, I think it's From the Aether band.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, if you go to our webpage, you can find all their stuff. As a matter of fact, we've been playing their music all day today. You guys have been in rotation on the radio station. You made it ever since you guys have been on here. You've been up in the top 20, then the top 10, and it keeps climbing.
Wow. That's amazing.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm so
because,
grateful.
a lot of these young kids too, I've noticed, like with my son, he started listening to some of the old Fred Astaire stuff. I mean, he's on Xbox all the time. But a lot of these kids are reverting back to the folk songs and the type of music you guys play. I guess they're burned out on, and the rap crap. I shouldn't call it that because we have a radio station. I don't play, we don't. That's not the kind of music we play on here. Mainly because it's not what people are demanding. And I can't say I was surprised that you guys were moving up because you guys do an excellent job on what you're doing, but I didn't think there was as big a market for the type of music that you're playing. I told you I'm straight up with everybody. But I knew that I liked it, Tammy liked it, our staff liked it.
Definitely.
And it has to go through everybody before we decide if we're going to put it up, because we have, literally thousands of people that send us stuff. And
Wow.
I think out of the 800, there's only so much music we can play, in a 24-hour period. But you guys have been in. I don't see you guys going anywhere for a while. But if you guys want to go to the page, you guys can. It'll be up after we get off the air.
It's already up on YouTube.
Okay.
In the live chat. It's right there.
And where?
That's amazing.
On the live chat on YouTube.
Okay. You guys can either go there or the Putman Way. You can sign up for it after the show. We'll give it away in a couple days. And then you can go on IITWRadio.com. You can go on Facebook at IITW Radio. Is there any place else? Twitter, all that stuff I don't know about.
It automatically goes to those places, yes.
I'm not Donald Trump. I don't tweet ever. I don't even know how to get on there.
No, you don't, but the page does. We take care of all that stuff.
I want my flip phone back.
That's why you have us.
Now, do you guys have any days coming up, venues that you're going to be playing?
And we'll probably be playing Ashland, but that'll be in around the end of June.
June?
And we will put that up on our website. Any kind of performances that we will have will be on www.fromtheaether.com.
Okay.
We'll
get those shared up on our page too, so that everybody will know about it.
Yes.
Great, thank you.
Great, thank you so much.
Sure.
You're so amazing. I really love the choices of songs you have up there and the people that are part of the whole page.
Yeah,
we're
thank
listening.
you.
We love you guys too.
You know, like I tell every artist that comes on, we don't make any money off the artist. The only reason we do it is to promote people that we think we have talent, and not just so much us, but we'll put up a lot of people, and then some get nixed and some don't. The worst thing for me to have to do, tell anybody after being in the music industry most of my life is, basically you stink. Go get a job, do something else. I hate telling people that. Unfortunately, I have to do it. You guys are not the case. I mean, I think you guys have a lot of talent. I see you going a long ways in the music industry. And the fact that your music is clean. You don't find a whole lot of that anymore. Most of the stuff is, some of the cuss words I don't even know. And I don't have the cleanest mouth. And some of it I can't even understand. I understand every now and then I shot a cop or did something. But you guys have a really good gig going on, and I see you going far, and I hope that people go and get you guys' music. Like I say, you guys can go in, you can order it. The website will be up on their page as well as all 3 or 4 or 5 of our pages. But I want to thank you guys for coming on, and I love listening to your music. I know Tammy does, and I know you guys are getting a big following on our radio, and our thing is to help get you guys' word out, not to make any music on it. And I appreciate you guys coming on.
Thank you so much.
You.
Thank you for your time.
No problem. Tammy, are you still there?
Yes.
Or did we lose you?
I am. No, I'm still here. Thank you so much, guys. We love you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, you guys have a good evening. Enjoy what you guys are 3 hours behind us.
Yes. So
Okay.
it's like 5 o'clock now here.
5 o'clock? Yeah, we're pushing 8 o'clock here. It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you guys very much for coming on, and we'll continue to play your music. And I'm going to have you back on in a few months. And we'll get an
Great.
update from you guys and see how things are going with you. Enjoy the travels. I wished I could do it.
Yeah, be careful traveling, okay? Take care of yourselves.
I'm stuck here in the hot Florida weather and the mosquitoes. All right, we'll see you guys later.
Yeah, we
Bye-bye.
try to get away from.
Oh, we won't.
Good night.
And hopefully you guys will be
Good
in
night,
Florida.
guys.
Hopefully you guys will come to Florida and we can have you down here and have you in one of the venues down here. Let me know when you're going to be down here, and we'll make sure we get you set up in 4 or 5 places to play while you're here.
Oh, that
Definitely.
sounds great. We will
Okay.
do that.
Okay.
Okay, great. Bye.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That was Tim and Helen from the Aether. You guys make sure that you check out their CD. If you want to go on and register to win it, all you have to do is type in, what is it, Tammy?
It is.
We Love the Aether, or
We love From the Aether.
just type that in. Okay, next coming up, let's do a little bit of T-Mobile down in Daytona. Right now, if you guys go there, they got the buy one, get one free on the LG, Samsung, and Apples. It's a great time to add to new friends and family packages that they have. Also, they have a veterans thing going on, and it's up to, I believe, 50% off. Don't quote me that, but I think it's 50% off. If you go in there right now and tell them that you heard it on IITW Radio or the Putman Way, what they will do is they will donate $50 to a charity, and they will also hand you $50, or you can use it toward your bill. They have the BOGO Bonanza, is what it's called. So buy one, get one free. Okay, and then we have O'Reilly's Auto Parts. And JR should be calling in here in a second because we put up a contest for an oil change for Father's Day. And so O'Reilly's JR and his crew over there at O'Reilly's, they kick butt. They're over at 619, or 619 Highway 19 in Palaca. He's not there? Okay. Program manager said nobody's answering over there, so I guess we'll get JR in there as soon as he gets on the phone. He's going to call in, but O'Reilly's will do a price match. If you bring in, now, not anything off the internet, because some of these guys are crazy on the internet. Okay. They will price match and guarantee you that, but that is on local ads and stuff, not anything off the internet. They're not going to give you a start or anything for a business, you know, for $29 when the thing is running $59. So, but the Father's Day giveaway was for 5 quarts of oil filter, a complete oil change kit. It has the oil catcher, the funnel, the towels, all that stuff. I'm not sure. Okay, until he calls in. I also have Bird Sales. I don't know if we have anything of Mr. Bird up there, but he has buildings and stuff for sale. Chris got it. There we go. Bird Sales in San Mateo, open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And on Saturdays, 8 to 3. Mr. Bird has some cool buildings down there. The building that I'm in right now was purchased from there. And he has everything from gazebos to greenhouses. Man, if you need to store your stuff, he would also do rent to own. You don't have to have a credit check, anything. Go in there and talk to him, put a little bit of cash down, and then it's usually cheaper than what you would pay during the month for a storage rental. There you go, Chris. There's your paper. Do what? Okay. Well, JR will be calling in here in a second. And then we're going to bring up the Judge DuPont. While we're waiting on JR to call in, we have some birthdays this week. Where are we at with our birthday list? Okay, on our birthday list, top left, we have my niece, Emily. I don't know how old Emily is. She won't tell me, like every other woman. We have Mike DeCole. We have Carolyn Blackwater. And on the far right-hand side, we have Leanne Bowen Rafter. I've known Leanne for a lot of years. Bottom left-hand corner, I'm saving the one for the center for later. We have my nephew, Daniel, and my great-nephew. God, I feel old. And then we have a cool little buddy, Nicholas, just turned 8 years old in the center. And on the bottom right-hand side, we have Teresa. And she won't tell me her name or her age. None of them will, except for they're all 29. And then we have Lee Dandridge right in the center. Lee is one we feature every week. She's one of our best friends. And she's going to kill me for putting up there, but she had just had her hair done by Barbie over there.
Lee.
Oh, yeah, she did a great job on it. It's too bad we don't have a big 8x10 glossy of her.
Her hair looks gorgeous, by the way.
Oh, yeah, it does. She's like, she straightened out the rat's nest. Oh, yeah. She's going to kill Chris.
She looks absolutely beautiful.
Right there. Barbie did a great job on the highlights and
Yes,
stuff on her.
it looks so beautiful.
I'll have to put that up as a poster child for an ass beating because she's going to kick my butt.
And that would be your picture, not hers.
I didn't take that.
No, but
I ripped that off.
you
her
are the
Facebook
poster
page.
child, not her.
Oh, no, she's going to be Mama Ass Beater.
I'm waiting for my Facebook to ding here. She's gonna be messaging me any moment, I'm sure.
Yeah, she's probably not listening tonight. I think she's working.
Oh. We'll find out.
Okay, we'll do one more here, and then if JR doesn't call in, I don't have the name. He has the name of the winner. So, if nothing else, we'll put it up on the page. But my buddy Greg Williams, Greg Williams, PA Law, he's an attorney. He's a friend of mine. Besides being our corporate attorney, he's a friend of mine, real good friend. The guy's like a brain. I mean, he's one big brain. But he is one of the best attorneys I've ever seen in my life. He's like what you would see off of Law and Order and stuff. He's up in Jacksonville. Any guys that get in trouble down here, he'll do anything but murder cases. And he says he won't kill anybody or anything. So don't call him. If you have an ex that needs eliminating, do not call him. He's not going to come to your rescue. But if you call him and tell him that either Travis or Tammy from IITW Radio or the Putman Way, he will drive down to Putman County, pretty much North Florida. And Greg, I've known Greg to work with people before that couldn't afford the legal fees. I would not recommend going to a public defender. I don't think they will fight as hard for you as Greg will. Greg's a damn good guy. Plus, I love talking to the guy about politics. He also has a, I don't know if I should go ahead and say this now or not, but he has a Leonard Skinner Gold album that he's going to let us do an auction for charity on. And that's going to be coming up sometime in the summer. Greg's also going to be on at least every couple of weeks, giving people legal advice, as well as talking politics. He's one of the few guys that I know that I've sat down and talked with that I could talk politics, and he's completely versed in everything. All right, I guess JR is not going to call in. So let me move on to the Judge DuPont thing. Tonight in the studio, we have Robert Baldwin with us. Bob. I've known Bob for a while now. If JR calls in, we'll just have to cut off of the thing for a few minutes and then talk. Okay, Judge DuPont, you guys know he's been in the news for quite a while now, since last election, where he was accused of some misdoings during elections, making some false accusations, stuff like that. He went before the Florida Judicial Qualification Committee. They recommended that he be taken off the bench. Do we have a picture of Judge DuPont? Yes, we do. Bring that up, Chris. There's the guy right there. Now, Bob had went before, or Robert, what do you want me to call you, Bob or Robert?
Bob's fine.
You got to speak up, get up to the
Bob's fine.
microphone. Let's pull that out.
Put it right there.
Okay, you got to get your mouth up pretty close to it.
Bob's fine.
Is this mic on?
Should be.
I'm not getting any feedback off his mic.
Neither am I.
We might have to slide him over to the next mic. Got to plug it in. Wow, that's loud.
Yep. Bob's fine.
Okay. Just a second. There we go. Okay. Say hi, Bob.
Hey.
Here, we'll give you another introduction. Do it proper.
Thank you.
Bob went through a divorce, and we're going to go through this, but DuPont's been accused of violating people's constitutional rights. He had even made some comments to that effect, and I'm not going to quote what the man said, but I started reviewing his case, was about 2 years ago,
Yes.
and during that time, you can go ahead and take his picture down. During that time, I went over his case, and I started getting other cases where people were just charged way too much for child support. A couple up in Palaca, I could not believe how much they had gotten charged for. I mean, how much it was jacked up. The couple didn't even make that much, and their child support was way overpaid. Now, you went in for a divorce from your ex-wife and fill us in on a little bit of what happened.
Well, actually, it was a messed up situation. We kind of went in there, and it was anything that my lawyer that I put in there wise. It was like I always had a hard time with it. He my lawyer told me that he's never seen in 40 years of doing business, being an attorney, he's never seen a judge act this way.
No. When you went in, before we get to the guns and everything, when you went in, I believe it was the first time, Judge DuPont, you didn't have a couple items listed on your asset list.
Yes, sir.
What were those? I think one was
a golf cart, a scooter, and a blown up jet ski. It was all actually junk. It wasn't even nothing that was valuable. They were all didn't run.
You said you were getting ready to send those to the scrapyard.
Yes.
And what did DuPont do at that point?
He locked me up and told me until I put a very detailed list of every little thing that was for the whole situation.
So he just stuck you into jail.
Locked me up, yes, sir.
Was that at the time when your attorney had asked for more time to get your assets and stuff, and then?
Yes, and he said the case is over, and that was it, and the sheriff took me away.
Yeah, was it at that point when he was slamming his fist down? I was reading in the court papers, he was slamming his fist down on the podium where he was sitting at his desk, and he was saying, "No, you never requested that."
Yes.
That amount of time, and then the court reporter had told him later on that yes, you did, and he just kind of blew it off.
Yes, sir.
So he locked you up because you didn't have a few items
Yes.
listed. That's just crazy. So when we move on through the case, of course, you and your ex-wife, there's no really easy breakup in a marriage or anything. And I know your ex-wife had some problems. Now, you go to the judge again, and then the judge, after you, so you're sitting in jail.
Yes.
You finish up writing up your report. That was what? How long after that? You got it
the next day.
the next day.
Yes.
So you got it turned in the next day,
Yes,
and then he let you out.
Yes.
Okay. And then what happened after that?
It was very just one-sided. Everything I did or everything, there was always a problem with it, or he actually locked me up again another time and held me in contempt of court that time.
That second time now, that was the judge had ordered for an assessment to be done on your business, correct?
Yes, sir.
And tell us about that.
Well, he told me he picked actually the company to do the assessment for the business, and
wait, he didn't allow you to get your own company to assess it?
No, sir. No, he appointed the one.
So just was that company local or
No, from Jacksonville.
So he got a company to assess your business that was
Yes.
basically 60, 70, 80 miles away?
Yes. Yep. They came down. He told me, he asked them how much it was going to be, and he said anywhere from 7 to 13,000. And I told them that I didn't have the money, to do that. My lawyer said, we went back into court, and he asked why I didn't, have them come do it. And he got them on the phone and told them, he says, well, how much would it be for a down payment? And he said $5,000, and I told him, I said, I don't have it, and he locked me up until we come up with the money.
So he didn't. Not only did he not allow you to go find your own company, or you and your ex-wife to get an assessment or to get estimates from 3 different companies so you could find your own that was affordable. He just got a company up in Jacksonville.
Yep.
Of his choice.
Yes.
And then how long did he lock you up for? I think the paper said you were in there close to 2 weeks.
I think it actually was a little over 4 days.
Oh, was it 4 days?
Yes, sir.
I think it was 2 weeks was total what you had.
But I did.
At different times you had locked you up. Okay. I don't want to get anything wrong here. I want to give him as much as a free shake, which I'm finding it very hard to do.
Yes, sir.
But he tells you got to get an assessment from a company out of county, a couple of counties away from a company. Are you still there, Tammy, or did your
I am. No,
son
I'm
call?
listening.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It is. That's just nuts.
So that blows my mind. And then he locked you up and told you that you wasn't going to get out until you came up with the money?
Yes, sir. Until we came up with the $5,000 for a deposit. And then after.
And how did he expect you to come up with that money while you were sitting in jail?
I'm not sure, but I mean, thank God my dad came, stepped up and helped me do it, or else I'd probably still be in there.
That just doesn't make sense. That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Well, according to the Florida state constitution and our Constitution of the United States, there's no debtor's prison. And it says I believe it's 14 in the Florida state constitution that says no one will be locked up because they can't afford to pay for something. So that right there violates his constitutional rights. But now, what did he get you on? Contempt of court on that? Or?
Yes. Yep.
Holy crap. So he's locking you up. Let me make sure I get this right. He locks you up, tells you can't get out until you pay it.
Yes, sir.
Now, this time you have 2 boys that you're raising on your own, correct?
Yes, sir.
Unbelievable. That's one of the things that gets me about this whole border crisis is that, Americans, and he's not even doing anything. This is not like he went in for drugs or anything else. You weren't in there for drugs. It was just going to be a divorce.
Divorce, yes, sir.
Basically, there's no such thing as a simple divorce, but a divorce proceeding, you're getting locked up because you can't afford to pay for an assessment.
Mm-hmm.
Holy cow. So you were in there for 4 days,
Yes,
and then
sir.
your dad bailed you out?
Yes.
And now he had to pay the $5,000, I believe they call it a writ.
Yes, sir.
He had to pay the writ on it to get you out. Now that money went to the company. From what I read in the court papers, you had said that the business was worth how much?
$50,000.
$50,000. Now this is a paint and body shop.
Just a small shop.
Just a small shop. He's trying to raise his 2 boys. His ex-wife does have a history of drug abuse and stuff, and does have some felonies. I'm not going to sit here and bash her. I'm not going to bash anybody. It's not about their marriage or what they went through at this point. It's about his constitutional rights getting violated and stuff. Now, so after that, you get the $5,000, and then what happens?
Well, after we did that, we did the assessment, and it came in. He went through all my tools and my stuff. Well, actually, I had a body shop previously before I was married, before I even moved to Florida, and they even my tools and stuff that I already previously owned. I never even got none of that.
Get your mouth up closer to the
I never even got any of my tools that I previously owned before the marriage. They counted everything as long as she said, "Oh no, he bought that while he was here." But I had a full body shop, collision shop up in New Jersey before I moved here.
So tools that were yours
prior to the marriage.
And the law says anything prior to a marriage is still yours.
Yes.
It doesn't become community property. That's still your property. So
Yes.
he gives that to her.
They used a lot of it in the assessment, out of it. And then, even if I said, no, I had that, you can't have a full body shop, prior to all this, opening a second one, and you can't just go from one shop to another and not have any tools. But they just took by the word. No, there was any kind of discrepancy, they marked it as being part of it.
So when you tried to say this to the judge or your attorney, did he listen to you at all?
Oh, my attorney did, but the judge didn't at all. He didn't want to hear none of it.
Holy crap. Okay, so then the assessment you said was worth about $50,000.
Yes.
Your ex said it was worth how much?
Well, first she said $250, then she said it went to $150. And then by the time the assessment was done and they went through everything, they valued it at $49. So it was under what I said.
So you still had to come up with another $5,000.
Actually, it ended up being I think it was another $4,075, and we had 10 days to do that, or else he was going to lock me back up.
So for a company that he picked
Yes.
in another county, so now he didn't finish hearing your court case, did he?
No.
What did he do on that?
He sent it to a mediator, and then just the rest of it, any kind of questions I had or my lawyer or anything, he just kind of sidestepped it and sent it to the mediator and never heard another word.
So you didn't go back in front of DuPont?
No.
Now, there's something else that you had filed a grievance. We'll get, or not a grievance, but you have filed an emergency hearing on a couple of firearms
Yes.
that you have. I believe they were 25s.
Yes.
They were pistols.
Mm-hmm.
So they were in your box, in the thing. The judge does what? He gives your ex-wife your business?
The whole shop, the business, everything. The tow truck, everything. So when he gave that, I get full custody of my boys, and he gave her full ownership of the business, my tools, everything. So I had no way of supporting them.
So he gives you custody of your kids.
Yes.
Takes your livelihood away from you.
Yes.
Makes you pay the assessment.
Mm-hmm.
And then takes your business, everything else, and says, okay, here's your boys. Good luck. You fend for yourself.
Yes.
I mean, how in the hell are you supposed to support them?
Well, if it wasn't for friends and family, starting out again, it was really hard and rough. I kind of had no direction. I didn't know which way I was going to go. Didn't know how I was going to feed them, support them. It was kind of scary, really.
Holy cow. Now, the guns that were in one of your toolboxes,
Yes.
you were concerned about those, and you filed for an emergency hearing.
A motion, yes, sir.
Or motion to get your guns back.
Yes, sir.
And what happened with that?
When it went in, I went to my lawyer. We filed an emergency motion, and what happened was the judge denied it. So he left them in the shop, I guess, with my ex-wife, and I don't know where what happened, or didn't know what was going on with anything.
I know where they went. We'll get into that in a minute. But
Mm-hmm.
now, Judge DuPont knew that your ex-wife was a convicted felon, knew she had a history of drugs
Yes.
and stuff. And so you filing a motion to get your guns back from a felon, and I believe that was put in the paperwork is also correct.
Yes.
And then,
Wait, can I interrupt here?
yeah,
Yes.
I'm sorry. So you filed an emergency motion that stated that she was a felon, a previous felon, and that you wanted to get 2 guns back from your property before she took possession of it. Is that correct?
Well, no, she took possession of it. He gave me. We got the paperwork on a Friday to saying she took immediate ownership of it, and that was on a Friday. So Saturday morning she was there, and I was kind of upset and didn't think about it, and I left them in the toolbox when I went to leave. Again,
Okay.
I didn't want to go back, so we filed an emergency motion for it, and then it got
Okay.
denied.
Okay, so she took possession of the property, and then you filed the emergency motion to go back and get the guns.
Yes.
Okay. And then, but he knew that she was a convicted felon,
Yes.
and he still denied the emergency motion?
Yes.
as a matter of fact, he knew that she was that way. Didn't he give her supervised visitation with the children
Yes,
because
sir.
of that?
Yes, sir.
So there's no way he didn't know if he granted supervised visitation because she was a felon. He knew she had a history of drug abuse. So he just, when you filed the motion to get your guns back and said, you said in the paperwork that I read,
Mm-hmm.
and your attorney said that she's a convicted felon and that there's 2 guns in there, and knowing that she has a history of drug abuse, you wanted to get the firearms back, and they denied you?
Yes.
That's kind of messed up.
Yes, it is.
So-
Absolutely.
So when Bob had talked to me about this and told me about the guns, he was concerned that they were going to wind up in the hands of some drug dealers. So I did get a hold of the ex. I got a hold of a couple other people. She had told me she'd given them to one guy, to his mother, and then she had given them to him, and then he traded the guns for drugs, or for crack. That's what I was told. So I did track the woman down and ask her, and she confirmed that his ex-wife did in fact, I'm sorry, let me back up there. That couple, the mother and the son, said no. And the guy that was originally dating her said no, she never gave me the guns. She traded them for drugs to a guy named Cool V, which is AKA Benson Mitchell. Now, Benson Mitchell is in prison right now. He got arrested last year for drugs. the guns seem to have wound up in his hand at some point. Now, he says, the ex-wife tells me that the first story, I'm trying to figure out which story is true, but she says that the guns went to the mother, then they went to the boyfriend at the time. He traded them from drugs. Now, he tells me that he never got the guns. When I went back to her, she goes, "Oh no, I gave one of the guns to this woman over here." So I went and tracked her down, talked to her, and she said, yes, she did give me the guns, or one of the guns. She said, but I threw it off the Palaca Bridge into the water, which is the same story that his ex had come up with on one of them. Okay. Then she goes on to tell me that she gave the other gun. Now, the woman that says she threw the gun over the bridge is because her husband was a convicted felon, and he didn't want the guns around him. And I believe it was for a bad check on his side, which I still don't think they should take people's legal rights away from them for a bad check to voting or their gun rights or anything. They're not hardened criminals. You know, you write a bad check, you shouldn't have a felony on it. But the laws are what they are. So anyway, she says she throws the gun over the bridge. When I asked her if she knew where the other gun was, she said, yes, Bob's ex has got it in a drawer, or she used to keep it in a drawer at her house, but I think she traded it to, again, Cool V, which is the same thing the ex-boyfriend told me, for drugs. So now I confronted her about that, and I said, where is the other gun? Apparently there's one setting off the bridge somewhere in the water. And now she says, oh, I gave it to this other couple. So I get a hold of this couple. And I talked to the gentleman on the phone. He does not have ran a background check on him. Him and his wife do not have a felony pass. The wife has just recently gotten her concealed weapons permit. And he says, no, that he never had the guns, that she's lying. When I asked him if he knew who Cool V was, he said, yeah, he'd heard of the guy before because his son had dated the ex-wife previous. So everything falls back to this Cool V guy, this AKA Benson Mitchell, who's sitting in one of the prisons now for 10 years. So this whole time, apparently one or two of these guns, because I don't know if it's setting off the bridge. I know I've checked out the other people, and their past is not squeaky clean. And this Cool V guy seems to be involved with everything on these two guns. So indirectly, Judge DuPont, who's no longer on the bench, trying to get back on there now, is responsible indirectly for those guns because he refused to allow him to go get his own personal property and guns from a convicted felon.
Yep, exactly.
Jeez Louise. I mean, that blows my mind that a judge would even do that. But the kicker to this whole thing is during the divorce, he sends them to a mediator, and where?
And Jacksonville that he picked again.
Yeah, he picked a mediator in Jacksonville when we have mediators down here. I know that's pretty much standard practice. A lot of judges get overwhelmed in their cases and stuff. But on a case like this, I don't understand. We have mediators here. We have other judges here. What is his deal with Jacksonville? You know, is there some type of, is he getting kickback?
Kickbacks, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I don't know, especially if somebody says they can't afford something. So it sounds like you've been through the ringer, buddy. So how many times did he put you in jail?
2 different.
2 different times?
Yes, sir.
So you wound up with your guns going to a drug dealer, locked up because you can't pay for an assessment. And then there was also some other items. When you went to court, your ex had taken a shed. And I saw where you guys had said that in your court papers that some of the stuff she had sold.
Yes.
There was what were those items?
Whatever's a welder generator, a camper, sheds. I mean, none of that stuff was, even though I brought it all up, nothing was even addressed.
Okay, back to the sheds, because I read this in a paper and from papers you guys have filed. There was a shed, and she said it was rat infested, and that she had to pay some people to tear it down.
Yeah.
Yet there's a signed paper that was notarized to go to the courts that thing was sold at a yard sale.
Yes. She lied.
So you bought that up in court?
Yes.
What did the judge say?
He questioned her about it, and she says, "Yeah, I guess I did." And my lawyer, he did a good job about it, and kind of caught her right there in the lie. And it was just still nothing was addressed. And I mean, he didn't care really.
So he locked you up for contempt of court because you can't pay a freaking assessment of $5,000 because he's basically got your business shut down.
Yep.
And you didn't do anything wrong but forget a couple of items and then couldn't pay for an assessment, but she lied in the court. Was that the only time she lied?
Oh, no, there were several times.
So he didn't get her for perjury at all?
No, nothing.
And she admitted in the court that she lied?
Yes, even said it one time about as far as the income tax return. She had claimed after we were already separated and I had the kids. She claimed the kids and me and stuff that we were still there and got the money wise, and then talked to my lawyer, brought it up, and she's saying no. Then all of a sudden, my lawyer shows her bank account wise stuff. Look, this came from here, and state the treasury wise, and he goes, look, isn't it in fact that you lied? She goes, yeah, I guess I did, and the judge still never brought it up.
Okay, now when you went in and you didn't have the couple of items listed on your itemized list of your properties and stuff.
Yes.
You had a couple items missing from there. I believe it said 15 total, which I looked at them and they were, I even saw the pictures and everything of the items that you showed me, and they were garbage.
Yes.
It shouldn't even been listed. Now, what about her list?
Well, her list, she left, there was multiple stuff, and like I said, a welder generator and a big...
No, when I read the court papers, in the court papers, she said when they asked for her breakdown of her items,
she didn't
even have her items there, and said she had mailed them in.
Yeah, she said she mailed it, yep, that morning. Yep, she mailed it. Just got internet back, and she was and mailed it. And but he never arrested her or locked her up.
But when I read the court reporter's thing, she had said in one instance that she had mailed it in, and then she said something else. What was that?
That she just got internet back, so to be able to do it. Right, then she mailed it.
So she blatantly lied there as well.
Didn't have it in hand at the court hearing. No.
So she didn't have her list at all into court on time, but you had a list that was 99% completed.
Yes, sir.
And he locked you up, but didn't lock her up?
Yes. Yep.
Did they know each other outside of the court?
I'm not sure, to tell you the truth. I don't really know. But I know it's completely one-sided, the whole thing, and it's really aggravating. I didn't get a fair trial or a fair divorce, nothing at all.
So you have your paperwork, she doesn't have hers, you're locked up, she's not.
I went with a lawyer. She did it for herself.
And she didn't even have an attorney there?
No, sir. Nope.
Holy cow. Unfreaking believable. So now you're locked up. You have paperwork. She doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
She gets the gun. You file a motion to get emergency hearing to get or emergency thing to get your guns back. He denies it, allows her to keep those guns knowing that she's a convicted felon. These things apparently wound up in the hands of a drug dealer. They were traded off. And then your assessment, you're not allowed to get your own people, because I checked around. The assessment could have been done for $500 on the business. Even with me pulling somebody out of DeLand or Daytona, there's businesses that will come out and they will assess it in a day's time because your business was so small, and they will. It's $500, $500 to $1,000, not $10,000. So, and then you have to drive all the way to Jacksonville. You have no income at this point.
Nope.
And you have no business. You're driving all the way to Jacksonville. What happens then?
We go there, and actually I had to pay them too at that mediator. So we had to pay. Actually, we had to split it. I paid half, she paid half, and that was another thing too, as far as the for the assessment over there for the $10,000. We were supposed to split it, at the end over there, but it was never brought up in the divorce wise. I got stuck paying the whole thing.
No, so he gives her the body shop.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's cars sitting there. Excuse me, that don't belong to you or to her. There were cars being worked on.
Yes.
Tell us what happened to some of those vehicles.
Well, they got sold to other people, or parts got sold, and even a couple friends of mine, they had their tools there and stuff. Their stuff was sold. So nobody ever got anything back out of there that they belonged to them.
Oh my goodness.
So if my vehicle would have been sitting there, because you've been working on my stuff for a while.
Mm-hmm.
If my truck would have been sitting there, or my Jeep, or my daughter, or my son's car, and it would have been sitting in there at that time, it would have been sold.
Yep, either that or probably parts missing or something. Yep.
That's crazy.
Yep, we're going through court stuff now with one of the vehicles that were sold. So.
Oh
Now,
my gosh.
you guys, I wouldn't believe this. I mean, this is stuff you just can't make this up. It's something like you see on Fox News or something, or CNN or someplace. But I checked it. I've read a few hundred pages of this case, and I don't think I've ever seen anybody, except for maybe SJ, get screwed by the system so bad. So you have your boys now.
Yes.
And you've been raising them. I know both of them. Your one son is going to be going in the Army in what?
Next month on the 24th.
Next month? He's a good kid.
Mm-hmm.
Even the little guy. That guy rocks.
Yep.
This little kid can drive a tow truck at, how old is he now?
They're 14 and 18 now.
Yeah, 14. I watched this kid when he was like 10 years old jump behind this big old tow truck in Bob's facility over there and back it up and put a car on it, and I'm like, holy cow.
Yep, he's awesome. Both the kids are awesome.
Yeah, you've done a good job raising your kids. Now, where's the mother at this point? Does she come and see them or anything?
No, sir, never.
How did you get your back doing the body shop work? Matter of fact, we have some pictures. I'm going to put them up this coming week. I don't think we have any. Scroll back up, Chris. No, they haven't been put up in the board yet. They're going to be up this coming week. Wednesday night, they'll be up. I'll show you some of Bob's work. I mean, he does phenomenal work.
Thank you.
There's only a couple places that I'll even let touch my vehicle. But Bob's out, all hours in the morning towing. He's done a lot of stuff to help out. As a matter of fact, he's even donated a Jeep to, sorry, my mind's going blank there.
Heather.
Oh, no, what's his name? Dominic's mom, so that she was involved in an accident, and Bob's been kind enough to donate her a Jeep so that they can get around. So that's something we're working on right now. But I've known of a lot of instances where people haven't been able to afford a tow, and Bob will go out and pick them up in the middle of the night. I mean, I can't count the many times you've come out and got me in my big truck. And I don't have a small truck. It's a big old F-350. That thing takes up 1.5 parking lots. Anywhere I go, I have to park way out there. So you get your business back. Now, what happened with your business?
Well,
because you seem to be in the same building.
Yes, actually, I rented the building, and I had to wait for my ex to sell everything and have everything be done out of there. And then when her and the landlord, I guess, came to an agreement, she was supposed to be out or had her stuff out of there. And then he called me up and said, she's done, she's out, come on. And, he was kind enough to tell me, hey, I understand what happened. If you want to come back into the shop, come on, I got you. You can get back in there, which was awesome, really. It was great.
So it's taking you, what, 3 years to get back to the part to where you're just
kind of, yeah. I mean, I'm
restarting again?
Still paying on the tools that were sold through the Mac and the Snap-on guy. Then had to buy new ones to be able to keep going, still do the work. So I'm kind of double paying on the stuff now. But, yeah, it's hard, but we're getting there.
Wait, you had tools that you were paying on from Snap-on
And Mac, yes, sir.
that got sold?
Yep.
So you go back into business and all of a sudden you've got
I'm already in debt. Yep.
you're in debt before you even get started?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Holy cow. Unbelievable.
Yeah. It's been hard, but that's worth it.
Why aren't you an raging alcoholic or a drug addict right now?
Yeah, I got them 2 boys, man.
Yeah, I know that
means
is.
everything.
So, but and they're good kids too, man. I met both of them.
Yeah.
And I met Bob. You guys need any work done on your vehicles? You know, there's only 2 places that I'll take my vehicles to in Putnam County. There's other good mechanics and stuff out there, but Cars is one of them. And of course, Eastside Towing and Collision. Where are you located at, Bob?
286 Highway 17 South in East Palatka. Right there next to Lakes Housing Center and next to Transatlantic Motors.
You're right by the fairgrounds then.
Yep, right in front of it. Yep.
Okay. You know, you guys want to go get hit, Bob will treat you fair. I've seen people, he works with people, even on their paint jobs. And when you guys see these pictures come up on Wednesday night, I'm going to put them up and show you what kind of work he does. That picture that I'm going to put up Wednesday night is the MG.
Yeah.
Didn't that guy pick that up and back it right into a ditch as soon as he was...
that was a Volkswagen bus.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Volkswagen bus.
Was it green one, wasn't it?
Green with a white top, yep.
That guy brings his Volkswagen in there, gets it, what was it, 67?
Yeah, I think it was.
67. Nice.
I think so.
Bob did a kick butt job on it. The guy goes to back out and puts it right in a big ditch.
Yep.
Back into the shop.
Yep. Thank God. No, he didn't get a scratch or nothing. We got it out, and he was good. He got lucky.
But, so, what do you think about Judge DuPont, in your own opinion? I'm going to say,
truthfully, it was the worst experience I ever had with the court system. The worst. And I felt really unfair. Just every time I had to go there, I dreaded it because I knew it was going to be something terrible. I just never knew when I was going to get locked up for something I didn't do.
Yeah, well, that's crazy. What were you thinking when you were in jail?
How could this happen? How this isn't fair, I know I have an attorney, she doesn't, and I just didn't. I kind of kept thinking what's going on here.
Well, when I talked to your ex-wife, she's, as in most divorces, people don't have a whole lot of good to say about their exes. Matter of fact, when my ex is calling me, I always ask her if you're calling me now and you're up here, who's running hell right now? It's kind of a joke that we have going back and forth. We actually get along better now than we did when we were married. But your ex had told me that even in the, she goes, I don't like him. We should have never gotten married, but we had 2 kids out of it. But she goes, but what Judge DuPont did to him, she goes, I did not think was fair, which totally floored me that she even said that. She goes, it was like he was picking on him the whole time. Yep. She goes, for some reason, I just don't think that he liked him.
That's what I thought the whole time.
So now the Florida Judicial Qualification Committee has said that they recommended that he be taken off the bench, which Volusia County, from what I understand, and he's also served in Volusia County as well as Putnam County. And I'm not sure, but I believe St. John's. Don't quote me on that. But I know
that's correct.
Putnam had told me that, or told him to clear out and vacate your desk. And now he's trying to get back on the bench again. He's already been denied a motion once. And now he's just filed another motion to be put back on the bench. So do you think
it's in the hands of the Supreme Court at the moment.
Yeah, the
They
Florida
haven't
Judicial.
made a ruling yet.
Yeah, well, they already made their ruling before that. They thought that he should be taken off the bench. That's the Supreme Court of the state of Florida. It's the Judicial Qualification Committee.
Right.
So what do you think, Bob? You think it's kind of a dumb question to ask you, but
yeah, I don't think he should be back up there at all. Not at all.
If a guy's going to do that, I'd be terrified as all get out to even go up in front of him.
Oh yeah, I was every time we went.
Now, didn't you request? Didn't your attorney file a motion to have, because you thought you were being treated unfair? Didn't your attorney file a motion and a grievancy to get another judge on your case?
Yes.
Well, what happened with that?
He denied it. Judge DuPont denied it.
So he denied you getting...
Another judge. Mm-hmm.
no explanation, or
No, not at all. Tell you the truth, I think we tried it twice.
yeah,
I think so.
I believe in the court papers I did see it twice, because there's some 300 pages total, almost 300 pages of the whole time you were in there. How long did it take you to go through the divorce from start to finish?
It was a while. I mean, I want to say 8 months maybe to a year. It took a while. I mean, it was a little while.
No, that wasn't
That's
the
a
only
long
thing.
time.
Yeah.
That wasn't the only thing you had. Was your business?
Yes.
You also have what? 2 other properties?
Yes. Well, actually, we had the house we lived in and 3 rentals. And then I ended up. She got the house that we lived in, and the house next door, and I got the other 2. Which the one was, she went and stole the air conditioner, the well pump, and busted the windows, the hot water heater, and stuff, and so it was kind of inhabitable. And so I got that one. That was a big joke, as you said. I got one that was condemned, and she got the one we lived in.
So basically, you had no place to live.
Yes, sir. Yep. It wasn't for
You
my
lost
dad and stuff. Yep.
damn near everything. Now, there was some other stuff that I read in there where you had mentioned about your children's clothing, your son's dirt bike.
Yeah, we never got no personal stuff from the house like that. Nothing.
So you didn't even get what happened to their kids' stuff.
I don't know. I guess last I heard, her boyfriend and people, and she was selling stuff, and they were riding this stuff around, my kids' dirt bike and quad and stuff.
So your kids didn't even get nothing of their stuff back.
Nope. Nothing.
So to
Only thing
recap, you get custody of your 2 boys, but no way to support them. Thrown in jail, charged 10 grand.
Yep.
Your guns go to convicted felons, and you wind up with a house that has no air conditioning, no well pump,
Yep.
and no water. And my mind is completely blown. That
I know.
how are you supposed to raise 2 teenage boys, or 1 adolescent, 1 teenager, with no house, no money, no business?
Yep.
Everything got stripped out of your whole life.
Yep. Thank God for friends and family. That's the only thing I can say. If that, I didn't know what to do.
And I'm sorry, but how is it that a mother doesn't let her kids have their belongings back?
I have not a clue. I don't really know.
And I'm sorry that I'm saying
Yeah.
that as a mother.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it was hard, really.
I can imagine that was real hard.
Especially when
I'm
they would,
so sorry.
They would ask and stuff for the stuff, and I told them, well, I'm trying to get, here, I'll try and get you stuff, when I can.
Oh my.
So you're getting your business back slowly but surely now?
Yes, sir. Yep. My dad ended up buying the tow truck back for me, which we only had for a little while, and the motor blew up because they were driving it around and busted the column out, and so we were trying to get that all back together. We just got it on the road, and about 4 months into it, then the motor went. So I don't know if they did something, or it's just just by luck, it blew up, and so then I had to end up selling or trading actually my truck, my personal truck, towards another tow truck to even try and I figured that would try and support the business. I get a tow, then that might feed the body shop, and kind of a method to the madness, and it kind of, thank God I got that now, but now I'm kind of working on other stuff to drive.
So wasn't there a time when you were accused of stealing her car?
Yeah, she left it at a place of business, and it ended up missing, and she told the officers that I took the car, which I never touched it. They found out that it was only down the road. Some guy had put it on a car dolly and took it down there. He thought he was going to, I guess, keep the car or something, but, I had the officer, they called me and asked me, multiple times where it was and what I was doing with it. I wasn't going to be in trouble, and I said, well, sir, I never touched it, and I finally had to kind of, make it known. I was like, listen, I never touched the car. I don't want nothing to do with her, I just kind of avoid that whole step of my life right there.
No, so it turns out the car was actually sitting outside of a bar, as I remember when I was talking to you on the phone.
It was
a
a
restaurant bar.
A little restaurant, yep.
And then it sat there, according to the owners, when I contacted them. Because like I say, this is a case I've been working on for a couple of years. Not just Bob's case, but other ones at DuPont. And if we had enough time, I'd go into all those cases because there's, I don't know, how many emails do we get, Tammy, and calls? A couple hundred?
Hundreds, yeah. And like I was going to say, if it happened once, it has to have happened hundreds of times. This is not an isolated case. This is an extreme case, but it's not an isolated case by any means.
There's a lot of extreme cases, though.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have enough time. And
No.
we could spend the rest of the year, every night we're on, we could spend the rest of the year just going over DuPont's cases.
Yeah.
You know, we got 3 shows at
Absolutely.
night at 200. I mean, we're well covered into that, but they just can't do it. Anyways, it wound up finding out that the car was at this restaurant type bar place, and then they had called a gentleman to come tow it, who did not have the licensing to tow it or the storage to tow it. And when I called him up and asked him if he had the vehicle, he said yes. And I said, well, I mentioned his ex-wife's name, and he goes, oh, she knows it's here. She's been calling us for a week now and saying she's going to come pick it up and she'll have the more money for the storage. Yet at the same time, she's calling the sheriff's department and telling them that Bob has stolen her vehicle, knowing where it was at the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm not going to bash her, but it seems like she's trying to put the screws to you as much as it seems that Judge DuPont did.
Yep. That's what I thought.
I'm not going to sit here and bash DuPont. We only go off of facts. But Judge DuPont, if you're listening, shame on you. I mean, you violated this man's constitutional rights. When he couldn't afford stuff and trying to raise 2 kids on his own, you threw him in jail and then claimed it was contempt of court. You put him in jail when he had his list 99%, even if he only had it 50%. Bob's ex-wife didn't even have 50%. She had 0 in court at the time. Where's the fairness here? Where's the, remaining unbiased? Well, why didn't you throw her butt in jail when she had nothing? When she was contempt of court, and I'll be glad to get you on the air anytime you'd like. I haven't been able to get in touch with you. Every place I've left messages has been a dead end. But when I'm sitting there with 200 stinking pages and you violated constitutional rights, and when she's perjured herself in court, and this man did not perjure himself, but because he didn't list a few items that he thought was garbage and that he was just going to throw in the trash, you lock him up, but you do not lock his ex-wife up. Neither one of them should have been locked up. But for you to pull that kind of garbage, sir, you don't deserve to be on the bench. I'm not even going to call you sir. Judge, you're not even a judge anymore. DuPont, you do not deserve to sit on a bench and try people. This is the kind of garbage and crap you're going to pull. You should be locked up. Let you go in there and see how it feels to sit in jail until you come up with enough money to get an attorney for him to fight you. Bob, I hope you take this to, I hope you get a good attorney.
Yes, sir.
And I hope Greg's listening. Greg, I hope you'll take this man's case and follow through with this. And I hope that justice is done to DuPont. Now, I'm not saying for monetary, but to punish him for what he did to you. He incarcerated you. And from everything I can read, when you're held against your will and when the Florida State Constitution says that you cannot be locked up, there's no debtor's prison, and you lock somebody up and you don't care and you violate their constitutional rights, I hope they lock you up until you can come up with the money for an attorney and let you see how it feels. I hope I don't hope they take your livelihood away, but it'd be nice if they did, to see how you would function with 2 kids and everything you've ever worked for before you were married taken away from you. Then to have your business taken away from you, then lock you up. And then to not even hear a case where there's guns involved and you allow them, because sir, when you signed a thing saying that you were rejected, that you're not going to hear it, an emergency hearing for guns that are in the hands of a convicted felon, now they wound up, from what I can see, in the hands of a drug dealer who's now sitting in prison. Who knows where those guns are now? Nobody knows. This is all crazy. And I don't understand why you would do that and then call yourself a judge and want to be back on there. Is it a power trip for you? Do you want to just molest people's human rights? I don't understand what your whole reasoning is for that. You're going through a midlife crisis, go buy a freaking Corvette. Go get a prostitute. Do whatever it is that you have to do to go through midlife crisis, but don't take a man that's busting his butt trying to raise 2 kids, give him his kids, and then no way to support them. He took away your bank accounts too, didn't he?
Oh, yes.
And gave everything to her.
Well, actually, no. There's for the business wise, I was told that it was right before the bank account wise over there. There was only a couple $100 in there, and I was told that I made that money prior to that. So my lawyer said that that was mine.
So you wound up with a couple $100.
$100, yes, sir.
Unfreaking believable. Unbelievable. So, and there was another thing too. Right after this, we've only got a couple minutes here before the show's over, but the one last thing is that taxes that were to be paid on the business while she had the business and was supposedly running, who got stuck with that bill?
Well, the taxes wise, I got stuck with it. They came if they were delinquent wise, and which was a part where she used to take care of that stuff, and she wasn't paying it. And what happened was that when I reopened the shop for the first day over there, I got arrested for tax wise. But I mean, she got the business as far as my tools, all the other stuff, and I got stuck with the debt and had to pay that too to be able to get out.
Okay, the house that you were left with, real quick.
Mm-hmm.
The house that you were left with. Now, this is you guys are going to love this. Because they had been in her name before the divorce, she had taken out some credit card loans and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So this house that you were supposed to get in the divorce now has liens on them.
Yes.
So when you tried to get the house, you were going to sell them so you could buy another place for your kids,
mm-hmm.
you and your kids to live. What happened with that?
They told me I couldn't. It had to be paid one way or the other. They said that it didn't matter. I couldn't get it taken off of there, even though it wasn't. It was my house awarded in the divorce. That they had to be paid for me to sell it.
So you got stuck with a house that you can't even sell.
Yep.
There's no air conditioning, no wells, no nothing. It's sitting there and got mold and everything else in it.
Yep.
And that you can't work on it because a company has a lien on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the court system didn't do their part and take that lien off of there.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
How do you like those apples, Tammy?
I just can't. Everything, it just gets worse and worse and worse.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's just unbelievable.
If we had enough time, you wouldn't believe the rest of the story. Bob, I hope you write a book. If not, I'll write it for you.
Yeah, that's it. Yep.
Except we'll have to file it under fiction because nobody will believe it.
Yep.
I'm telling you.
That's it.
But I want to thank you for coming on.
Thank you.
We're down to our 2-minute mark. Man, brother, I feel sorry for you. Anything we can do to help you out. You guys, he's trying to get his business up and running. He does hell of a work. One of the most honest guys I've ever met in my life. If you got stuff, we're going to put up his ads and stuff on Wednesday night. And I've agreed for the screwing that you've gotten, Tammy and I have, is that we're not going to charge you for your advertisement. I think you've been
Thank
through
you.
enough, and
I really
anything we
appreciate
can
that.
help promote you on, brother, we're going to promote you.
I really appreciate it.
Absolutely,
Thank you, guys.
yeah.
All right,
You
well, that's-
It
deserve
means
it.
a lot.
That's Bob Baldwin. Thank you, Bob, for coming on.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, Bob. He's sitting right across from me, by the way. All right. Holy cow,
All right.
Tammy. We got less than a minute left.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you believe that?
It's just every little piece of it is just unbelievable. I mean, it's just he just doesn't deserve to be in that seat at all.
Oh, real quick, I'm going to announce the winner of the O'Reilly's oil change. It's Crystal Marie Owens. Crystal,
Yes.
you have 30 days to contact us to get your oil change from O'Reilly's. I want to thank JR and the people over at O'Reilly's for doing this. You guys kick butt, and I appreciate you giving back to the community like you do. And also our other sponsors, T-Mobile, Birds, and those. And we will see you guys back here on Wednesday. We've got a good show. It's coming up with a guy who was homeless, eating rats, cockroaches, and everything else to survive, and how the court system's totally put the screws to this guy. You guys are going to want to watch this one. All right. I want to thank you guys for being here. Tammy, we got 5 seconds. Say goodbye.
All right. Goodbye, guys. Don't forget to come see us at the Putnam Way.
God willing, creek don't rise and the government don't get me first.
Have a good night.
All right. Good night.